LEGO Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a theme that ran between the years of 2013 and 2014, making sets based upon the 2012 animated series of the same name, and later making sets based on the theatrically released live-action mixed with CGI Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, starring Megan Fox. Now, was there any reason for me to mention that Megan Fox is in the movie? No, but I just wanted an excuse to put Megan Fox in one of my videos.
Huh?
Anyway, what's up LEGO fans, it's LEGO Man Cam, and let's discuss the failure of LEGO Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a theme that you would imagine would be super popular based on the evergreen nature of the franchise. However, that was certainly not the case, and in this video we'll be discussing exactly why, taking a look at the entire theme in all of its glory and mediocrity. So, the theme began in 2013 with the release of 6 sets. These sets were based on the ongoing 2012 animated series airing on Nickelodeon, which was a new take on the classic franchise after many failed reboot attempts, and this series sort of brought the show back to basics, following the 4 Ninja Turtles and their sensei Splinter up against the main villain Shredder. Anyway though, this first wave of sets consisted of Krang Lab Escape, Shredder's Dragon Bike, Stealth Shell in Pursuit, Turtle Lair Attack, the Shellraiser Street Race, and the Baxter Robot Rampage. Now I actually own 3 of the smallest of these sets, however I owned them back in the day when I was just a wee boy, as they were released 11 years ago. I still have the minifigures still made though, so you can see Mikey, Donatello, and Raphael here, and I really love the figures with the exclusive molded heads. And then the shell piece on the back was actually a new mold too, with 2 different variations of strapping. Interestingly, Raphael is also a darker shade of green here too, which is accurate to how he appears in the animated series, which I thought was a nice touch. I also have Shredder, who is a really awesome minifigure with a smaller blue cape and a newly molded helmet piece, and I love his face print underneath too, and this figure is worth about $40 today as well. Fish Face is one of the weirdest LEGO minifigures that I've ever seen, using entirely new molding for almost all of his pieces, and I actually have some of this Stealth Shell set still built up, even though it's pretty dusty. Anyway, the rest of the bigger sets here are all pretty nice. However, interestingly, there were actually 2 different versions of the Shellraiser, or better known as the Turtle Van. The original set had apparently a weak chassis, which led to some of the pieces falling off, so it was actually re-released with 50 more pieces in it to add to the stability, which is a very rare occurrence and barely ever happens where a LEGO set is changed once it's already released and hit shelves. In my opinion though, the Turtle Lair is probably one of the weaker sets from the wave. At only 488 pieces, it's just not that big and looks pretty cluttered and all over the place. Before we now move on to the second wave of sets though, there were also actually a couple of exclusive minifigures released for the theme too, some of which were the most expensive LEGO minifigures of all time. First though, we have Flashback Shredder, which is a fine minifigure, but it's just a pretty plain figure at the end of the day. However, the next 2 were very limited exclusives, and the ways of obtaining one of these was very questionable to say the least. First is the Krang Battle Damage Suit, and this figure was exclusive to the first 300 people to visit the LEGO store at Rockefeller Center on October 13th, 2012, but here's the catch. You had to be dressed as a Ninja Turtle. Firstly, this is a pretty awesome looking figure, and secondly, that is absolutely hilarious. If this were brought out today, I could just imagine hundreds of grown men trying to scalp the minifigure having to dress up as Ninja Turtles. It would just be so funny. Anyway, the second figure is arguably the best Ninja Turtles minifigure of all time, in my opinion, and this was released at the New York Comic Con in 2012. This is Shadow Leonardo. This figure looks super cool with an all black design and also an exclusive printed skateboard with Comic-Con logos printed all over it. It's just such a great minifigure. And by the way, did I mention that this minifigure is worth over $2,000 today? And that Krang minifigure we just looked at before is worth over $1,000 too. So with a decent first wave of sets and some great exclusive minifigures, how did this theme go wrong? Well, let's now take a look at the second wave of sets, which included 5 new sets. But just quickly, if you are new to the channel and enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing. It's the best thing you can do to help the channel grow to 20,000. Anyway, all 5 of these sets released April 1st of 2014, well over a year since the first wave's release. The sets were the Karai Bike Escape, Mutation Chamber Unleashed, T-Rocket Sky Strike, Turtle Sub Undersea Chase, and Shredder's Lair Rescue. Now, in my opinion, these 5 sets are pretty amazing. First, with the Karai Bike Escape, for $13, you got a new Leonardo and Karai for the first time ever, as well as a bike and a small side build. Going upwards to the Mutation Chamber, it's another great set at just $25, with Raphael and a really bizarre big fig called Spider Bites. The T-Rocket is probably one of the weaker builds, but the Donatello and Michelangelo minifigures look amazing, and Mutated Dr. O'Neill is another incredible villain figure from TMNT. Continuing with this great trend, we had the Turtle Undersea Sub, which contains all exclusive minifigures again, with the Leatherhead being an awesome looking kind of middle-sized figure, very similar to Dog Pound from the previous year. And last is Shredder's Lair Rescue, which I probably think is the weakest set of this wave, but a set with the most expensive TMNT minifigure from just a regular set, being this version of Shredder in a black and dark purple outfit, worth over $150 today, over 3 times the original value of this set. While this was all the Ninja Turtle sets that we got based on that 2012 animated series, we did actually get 3 more sets for the theme, but they were based on the 2014 live action movie. Now, if you were around at the time, you would know that this movie was not received the best, with one review that I found even crowning this movie the distinction of being the dullest movie ever made about talking bipedal reptiles. Anyway, before we get into that, let's now take a look at the 3 sets that we got for the movie, all released on July 6th, 2014. We got the Turtle Van Takedown, the Big Rig Snow Getaway, and the Turtle Lair Invasion. Now, these sets are fine, I guess, but the minifigures are really where they shine. Starting with the Turtle Van, which is a nice build nonetheless, you get Raphael, Michelangelo, and they both look really great, with again, brand new head molds and prints that just look so nice. The Big Rig is probably the weakest set of the wave, since it's just a big truck and 4-wheel drive, but you do get a Megan Fox minifigure, which is pretty cool. And last is the Turtle Lair Showdown, which is such an improvement over the 2013 Turtle Lair, and this set includes Shredder, who is probably one of the best Ninja Turtle minifigures ever, with a brand new armor piece which looks so good. Now, these sets, along with all the other Ninja Turtle sets, retired at the end of 2014. This meant that the first wave of Ninja Turtle sets had 2 years on shelves, the second wave had 9 months, and the TMNT movie sets had just under 6 months, a really short time on shelves for any type of LEGO set. This of course has led to these sets becoming extremely valuable on the aftermarket, with most of these sets being 3 to 4 times their original value, and most likely the minifigures are the main contributing factor to those high prices. Anyway, now that we've looked at all the sets that released, let's discuss exactly why this theme failed and why it only lasted 2 years. The first reason would of course be the failure of the TMNT movie. The movie, directed by Michael Bay of Transformers fame, did okay at the box office with a gross of $485 million against a $125 million budget, but it just wasn't very well received. It took a more dark and brooding approach compared to kind of the fun and chaotic nature of the TV shows and the comics. It currently sits at a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics and 50% from fans, so that's just not a great score. I've watched the movie back when it came out, and it's fine, there's just nothing really special about it, and it kind of feels like any generic blockbuster. However, the movie did not result in better sales to the theme, as LEGO's partnership with Paramount ended pretty quickly. As we said, all these sets were pulled by January of 2015. Ninja Turtles as a franchise is one that ultimately though comes and goes, as it has times where it's really popular and then it kind of fades back into the background. But one thing is consistent, it's never fully gone away. And this is where the possibility of the theme coming back in LEGO actually lies. After the LEGO sets cancellation though, Mega Bloks took up the license and produced sets through 2016. as the animated series started in 2012 was still going, and a second live action movie, TMNT Out of the Shadows, was released, bringing out even more playsets. From then on, Ninja Turtles went pretty quiet as a franchise for a while there, until just recently in 2023 with the well-received TMNT Mutant Mayhem theatrically released film. While the movie wasn't a box office smash by any means, it did kind of reignite some passion and discussion in the franchise, and especially in the toy market, with a bunch of new products hitting shelves and genuinely being really popular. This film also then went on to now spark a new series, which is aired on Paramount Plus and is now coming to Netflix, which was met with 100% reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and a sequel to the film is planned for a 2026 release, with Shredder returning as the main villain. So if the series continues to do well and this second movie is on its way, who knows where this could lead us? With this in mind, could TMNT make a return to LEGO? Well, with the licensing and rights issues aside, over the past few years, we have seen quite a lot of old LEGO themes return, with the likes of Lord of the Rings, and even something like Pirates of the Caribbean, supposedly coming back later this year with a Black Pearl D2C, which let me say, I am so excited for. So the idea of long gone LEGO themes returning is totally on the table. And let's face it, a lot of these sets, and especially minifigures, were top notch for back in the early 2010s. And with LEGO currently marketing a bunch of their sets with their 18+ line, and TMNT now being a multi-generational spanning franchise, I genuinely could see this theme returning, with something for example like maybe an 18+ turtle van based on any of its different various iterations. With that being said though, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please comment your favorite TMNT LEGO set and subscribe to help us reach 20k.